Back right here on the Jake Asman Show. It is a game day, a New York Jets game day. And joining us right now on behalf of DraftKings Sportsbook is DraftKings talent ambassador and Jet legend, a member of the Ring of Honor, Mr. Third Down, the great Wayne Chrebet. Wayne, always appreciate your time. Thanks for hopping on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I always like talking to you about the Jets and your opinions. But yeah, I'll be here on behalf of DraftKings. We're talking about a 12.5-point spread on the game, past game. Yeah, that'll let you know what the experts in the desert think about us. But I don't think that. I think that's kind of high. But I definitely think it's to be a more competitive game than people think.
Wayne, take us inside the player's perspective, right? Most people are not going to pick the Jets to win this game. Most people are going to say, it's Jets, short week, playing a Patriots team that's won 7 straight games. They got Drake May, who's the betting favorite in a lot of spots, including over at DraftKings to win the MVP award. What's the player mentality when you basically feel like, hey, no one's going to give us a chance in this game, and you still have to go out there and try and play?
Perfect. You got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? And I keep telling people, when you're playing out there, I don't know if it's so-called Foxborough, you had a night game. No one else is watching of any other game. The only game in town. It's just sometimes it's better to be on the road and going up there. And I always loved being booed more than getting cheered at home. It's just something about it. When your team just kind of like looking at each other like, let's just mess up their season. We're riding a 2-game streak. We won in 2 different ways. And when you go out there and you're carefree, and you have nothing to lose, you're a scary team to play.
When you look at the game, right, the Jets do come in on a 2-game winning streak. All of a sudden, it feels like there's a lot more smiles in that locker room from the players, especially after the trades, which I'm sure we'll talk about with Sauce and Quinnen being traded on the Tuesday before this Browns game this past week. Do you think the fact that the Jets maybe are coming in winners of 2 straight, that instills some confidence going into this game later?
Yeah. You even look like you smirked a little smile when you said
That's right. It's been tough this year. It's been tough.
Listen, it's tough. It's been tough for a while. And, we go from, head coach or rookie head coach to GM, this and that. We've done that a couple of times in the last decade. But I think people see now that Woody's going to give AG and Muji a chance. Not that that's bored him a couple of years, but, a chance to change the culture. The trades, I think, were huge. I know people were shocked when the alert came up, Sauce traded, and then you see Quinnen traded. People are like calling me. I'm like, listen, look what they got for him. And they get rid of the contract, all the salary cap, and all the picks now. They got 3 lottery tickets, but they also got those 2 receivers in return. We got Mechie and the Mitchell kid. Those are players that we're not going to have to draft. We got guys that are young, not developed, but crazy talent. And with those picks, now you need a quarterback, most important. And now we have options about going to get one that's established in the league or drafting one. So, yeah, they're doing a great job right now and coming off 2 wins. Sure, there's a lot to be positive about going into this game.
You mentioned the receivers they were able to acquire at some of these deadline deals. A.D. Mitchell is likely going to make his Jet debut tonight. We saw John Mechie briefly have a couple of plays for him in the Browns game. No Garrett Wilson. He's going to be out, could be out 3 to 4 weeks. So you look at the offense now, Wayne, just how difficult do you think it is for these receivers to come in and try and pick up the offense and play a role here down the stretch? You're probably the perfect guy to ask because you played that position. So kind of take us inside what it's going to be like for these receivers trying to get up to speed in the Jet offense.
Yeah, you know what? It's a new system and stuff like that. Same routes, just different words. But this is a perfect opportunity for guys like that. Like when we were 1-15, 3-13, I can't lie, it wasn't hard to stand out if you just played hard and did your job and, just became a positive thing, for in the, in the complex and out. And these 2 guys are coming in and they don't have to be the guy. They're not going to get double coverage. They just have, they're going to block. They're going to get play action. So, they keep it simple, but there's, even though they're doing their debut for this team, they just have to do their job, make some plays. And like I said, there's no pressure on these 2 guys. There's no pressure on the team right now. They have nothing to lose, everything to gain. They just have to play error-free. It's got to be a perfect game, but just kind of like get better and better. Maybe it's not a win, but I think they could go out there and be competitive.
You obviously know Aaron Glenn as well as anyone, former
Yeah,
teammate. He probably covered you in practice as much as anyone, right? So,
thousands,
yeah,
thousands of times. Like I can't lie, 2,000 times. I mean, think about 7 years every day. Whatever, 5 days a week at 1-on-1, 7-on-7, 2 minute drill. And you know, somebody asked us who won, and we've always said is, right down the middle. But in all those years, I don't think I ever remember like having each other's face masks or punching or going at it. He's a great competitor. He's smart. And he's not the kind of guy like a 9 to 5 guy. He goes in early and he's like, I'll leave when I'm done. Uh, and what I tell people it's different about him and other coaches is he started out in scouting and worked his way up as assistant position coach, DC head coach. So he's been through all that. He can evaluate talent great. And we haven't had that. And between him and Muji, they've made some great moves so far, and set themselves up that, they have all the options they need with all the salary cap and picks. So, yeah, he's a great guy. I know I'm biased, but he told me when he came in, he said, Wayne, in 98, we didn't get it done out in Denver. I came here to complete the mission, bring a championship. And he said, I know coming to New York, I know the media. He said, I know what they're going to do with me if we don't start off fast. He says, I don't care. I'll take it. It's worth coming there for that to get to where the Jets need to be and to turn around. And he's doing that.
you mentioned the media, right? So that's where I wanted to go next. He's been so combative in these pressers, especially of late. He has the back and forth with the press the other day because he didn't like that Rich Samedi of ESPN was the first to report, Garrett Wilson's 3 to 4 week injury timeline. Like, do you think he could maybe just do a better job of, hey, I know you don't want information to get out, but just not always trying to pick a battle with the media because I just feel like it's an unnecessary thing that he's bringing on himself and then the team and the players who then got to be asked questions about it. I just feel like he's got to deal with enough being the Jet head coach. Why pick a fight with the media over something as small as an injury timeline for the best offensive player on the team?
Yeah, you know what? But you never know what's going on in someone's house. Like you don't know what happened in the last 24 hours of his day going into that meeting. But yeah, I'm sure he's thinking about what he's going to be asked, and he has a response in the chamber, this and that. But I thought it was funny the way he said it. I know Rich, but yeah, he that's the way he wants to handle it. And he doesn't want to be steamrolled or anything like that. But it's a little bit of the Parcells kind of like, uh, you know, buzz shot, whatever it is. But
That's been the criticism of him, right? That he's acting like Bill Parcells, but when Bill Parcells was coaching you guys, he already had 2 rings jingling,
yeah,
jangling off his fingers by then.
that's the difference right now. He hasn't, earned his belts. But listen, I think he's handling it the way. And from the initial press conference, the first thing he said, he didn't want the conference to be about Aaron Rodgers, and he said, "Listen, before you even ask, we're talking to him, this and that. We'll let you know when we know." He just tries to cut things off at the pass. But yeah, he's not going to talk about the starting quarterback anyway. I wouldn't want to know, tell the other team who to scout for and game plan for. But yeah, if that's the way he wants to handle it, that's his right. But I'm biased. This is my guy. And I never really had to deal with that with the media. I was blessed. I'm still blessed how you guys treat me. So I don't know what else is going on with his head, but some people think it's funny, some people think it's combative, but I don't think much of it.
Wayne Chrebet with us here on behalf of DraftKings. Here's what I want to ask you, Wayne. I don't know if I've ever directly asked you this. So the number 80 has not been worn since you retired by anyone, right?
Yeah,
Yet it's not technically a retired number. So
yeah,
I've been saying for years the Jets need to make it official and retire the number. It's very similar to what happened with the Yankees and Paul O'Neill. Fans were upset if anyone ever tried to wear number 21. Eventually, the Yankees retired the number. I think the number 80 should be retired. Have you ever been approached by the Jets about that? Has anyone ever explained to you why the number is seemingly not issued, but it's not technically one of the retired numbers?
yeah. It's funny that you asked that. People ask like, when they gonna retire? I'm like, well, 30 years, no one's wore it. So which is kind of cool because when you're at the stadium, if it's an 80, it's me. Unless somehow you have a Johnny Lamb Jones jersey for 30 for 30 years, and a lot of time you see certain numbers, it could be, a couple guys, you know what I mean? You don't know, but I don't know what they're going to do. It's like they didn't give it away right away. And at this point, it'd be very weird to see someone else wear it. Yes, if they retire, it would be just something that's just beyond crazy. Being in the Ring of Honor was amazing enough. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I do think the first thing they should do is, you know, you um, retire number 74. I think you get the Mangold jersey behind you. I think that's the first number they need to retire is Nick Mangold's number, and hopefully makes the Hall of Fame. But just in remembrance of him, what he was to not only the fans and the franchise, the NFL, on and off the field, the guy was just tremendous, and he needs to be remembered that way.
Well said. And obviously, it's so shocking when we all found out the news about Nick. I know you guys never actually overlapped as teammates, right? You were retired after '05, and then Nick came in '06,
Yeah.
but he's around the Jets all the time, as are you. What was your relationship like with Nick?
We did a lot of things. The Jets use certain guys to represent them at different events. You see me out in London. You've seen him at places. It's funny, but the first thing I remember, it's on YouTube. You can see it. I went on this cooking show. It's the first time I really got a chance to be one-on-one, and I went to his house. We made like stuffed jalapenos and this kind of buffalo. I don't eat spicy food. And he lit me up. And it was funny just being at his house, like toys all over the place. He's got these young kids. And then we made s'mores. And me and this big guy and I was just like, he's just a soft-hearted, likable guy, representing the franchise well. And he will be severely missed because he was one of the great ones.
No doubt. Couple quick hitters for you about your career now, Wayne. When
Yeah.
you think back to your career, and anytime I talk with Jet fans and the question comes up, who's your favorite player? I mean, you're one of the most popular responses, no matter the age of the Jet fan. You basically had that impact on so many different eras of fans. But when you think about your career, is there one moment or one play that you think defines Wayne Chrebet, New York Jet?
You know what? It's the games that they televised. The Monday Night Miracle, obviously Monday night game, just like it's the Jets game, only game in town. If you're watching football, you're watching us. Obviously the 2 touchdowns, but the one who tied it up, obviously Jumbo's 3 catches won the game because he those little hamburger helper gloves. Obviously people remember Curtis's halfback pass with the story and everything going on. We're undefeated. I don't know. The Green Bay game when we won the East, and just beat up on Favre. But there's just too many games and too many situations to remember. But I think those are the top three that are showed the most and I enjoy the most.
Do you feel like you're more connected to the Long Island Jet fan as a guy who came out of Hofstra, or the Jersey-based Jet fan as a guy? I believe you're from Garfield, New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So, are you more connected to the Jersey Jet population or the Long Island Jet population, like myself?
Nah, I'm both, man. I'm local. A lot of people think I'm from Long Island because of Hofstra. And a lot of people know I grew up 15 minutes from there. I've lived all over North Jersey, South Jersey, but listen, I've been accepted by Jet fans all over. Obviously a lot of New Yorkers down in Florida and down the East Coast, but I find fans all over the place. I had to do a signing at a card show in Chicago, and I'm like, why am I here? But this Jet fans in Chicago, and I get a lot of I hate your team, but I like you kind of thing. Or I'm a Giant fan, but I appreciate you. Or I'm a Dolphin fan. I hate your face, but I appreciate you. So I've been accepted as kind of like the kind of guy, the everyman they can see themselves in. And I always appreciated that. That people appreciated the way I played. It had nothing to do with the team I played for.
Lightning round, favorite teammate to hang out with?
Laverne Coles.
I got to see that firsthand when you guys came to my event in London last year. So
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely
You see,
love
good
that.
time, good time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What else you got?
Most underrated Jet that you ever played with?
Most underrated Jet that I ever played with. Jeez. Uh, Richie Anderson. I'll say
Great
him
answer.
right away for what he meant to the team. Obviously, you thought about Curtis, but Richie was, I'm thinking about our best offensive team. A guy like that, and guys who have Marvin Jones. People never appreciated the way he did because he never talked. guys like that.
Favorite road stadium to play in?
Yeah, I love playing up at Foxborough. I like the away
Nice.
games. I love all the AFC. Listen, if I played my whole career just against the AFC teams, I would have been first ballot Hall of Famer. Between the Dolphins and the Bills and the Patriots, I know I played them more, but those battles with like Tyler and Surtain and those guys, that was my favorite.
Best trash talker you ever heard on the field?
Actually, on my own team, that was Brian Cox. Brian Cox is one of my favorite teammates. That guy was crazy. I played against him, with him. Trash talking, yeah, I don't know. Mawai, guys like that. This is the tough guys who can say it and back it up. But I don't know. Just some tough guys. But like you said, they could talk whatever they want. They could back it up.
All right, final question. Your favorite Bill Parcellsium?
He told me when he came in, now he's from Jersey. He's like, I know everything about you. He was like, I know the cops, the judges, and this and that. I know where you are. I know you're at the Jersey Shore. I know you're here. He said, if you don't listen to me, your career's going downhill faster than a dump truck with a cement parachute. That's what he said to me. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of harsh. But if he didn't mess with you, then he didn't like you had a problem. And he messed with me a lot. And I loved him for it. And when I see him now, which is usually up at Saratoga at the racetrack, great memories. You see a little bit of him in, like I said, in Aaron, but Bill Parcells was one of a kind. And I enjoyed, obviously. My bucket list was to Gatorade him growing up a Part Giant fan. And I got him in January up in Buffalo. Got a picture of it. He signed it for me. It's one of my prized possessions.
That's awesome. That is awesome. He's Wayne Chrebet, Jet legend, DraftKings ambassador. Jets and Pats coming up tonight. You can wager on that game over at DraftKings. Any game in the NFL, college football, you name the sport, DraftKings has it. Wayne, always appreciate your time. Continued success, and let's hope Aaron Glenn's the right guy to turn this franchise around. Because does this Jet fan base certainly deserve it?
They do, and he is. All right, Jake. Thank you.